few technical difficulties. It's okay. How's everyone? Thank you for joining me. I am Kelly, and Max, come here. And this is Maxwell. Welcome to Yoga Flow. 30 minutes of some nice, soothing movement, and today specifically for the lower back. So get your mats and get comfortable, and we'll get started. Thanks for showing up. Get this on. So you guys, let's start on your back. So lie down on your mat and extend your legs out straight and bring your arms over your head. All right. So lower down all the way, reach your arms overhead and stretch from your toes to your fingers. Spread your shoulder blades apart by pulling let me fix my hair. So my head can go flat. So make sure your head is flat on the floor, that there's nothing in the way. And then bring your right knee into your chest and rotate your right foot around. And then extend that leg out, right leg out, bring your left knee in. And rotate your left foot. Rotate the other way. Good. Extend that leg out and reach your arms overhead again. Inhale and sweep the arms up. The hands come up. Spread your fingers. Place your palms on the floor. Now set your feet on the floor flat, knees pointing up, and drop the knees over to the right. Keep your shoulder blades evenly on the mat. And then bring the knees up and drop them over to the left. And then do that again. So working out any of the stiffness from the night's sleep. Moving around. Specifically the hips right here, the lower back. And now let's roll over to the side and push yourselves up to a seated position. And then again, place your feet on the floor and sit up well. Grab your shins, sit up tall, shoulders back, and just breathe. Look forward and see that your knees are the same direction as your ankles and your toes, and sit up tall. Find your sitting bones right there. And now round your back, hold your shins, rounding the back, spreading your blades apart, and then open up your chest, lean your head back. Cat pose or cow pose, similar to that, but seated, round the spine, and then arch the spine. Good. Do that again. Round the spine and then arch. Extend out your right leg and bring your left foot to your inner thigh and sit up tall. And take a breath in. Press your calf into the floor and flex your foot. Again, find your sitting bones or sit evenly and walk your hands forward along the mat. So feel your hamstring stretching. You want to keep your back flat right here. Press your calf into the floor. Walk your hands in further. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale again. And then exhale. And walk your hands in. And now we're just going to twist. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left leg and look over the left shoulder. So stretching through the back, your lower back with the twisting of the spine and the turning of the shoulder back. Take another breath in. Exhale that out. Now let's start to turn facing forward, extend both legs out. If that's uncomfortable, just set your heels down and slightly bend your knees and sit up. Find your sitting bones so you can pull one hamstring out. Find the sitting bones and then try to extend out both legs straight. Press the calves into the floor. And then reach your right arm up and back and sweep over and touch your left toes or your left shin like that, okay? And then reach up and over the opposite arm and touch your opposite foot. So the right foot, reach up and over. So let's do that repetition a few times. You may feel many more things going on with your arms, your triceps, or your shoulders. Reach up and over, touch, and then reach up and over the other side. Do that 4 more times. 3, 2, and then 1. Good. Now walk your hands in and bring your feet together. So the bottom of your feet together, sitting up tall, legs out to the side. And you can kind of bounce the legs just a little bit. Move your feet out further if it feels uncomfortable. Closer in is a little deeper stretch, sitting up tall. Breathe in. And you can round the back here and lower down over your forward legs. Feel your inner thigh muscles right here. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, lift up, use your hands and bring your knees together. Come over onto your hands and your knees for cat-cow. Hands on the floor, spread your fingers, knees underneath your hips, put the top of your feet on the floor, and make sure your fingers are spread apart. Press into your fingertips, lower your belly down towards the floor, and look forward. And you're pressing into your hands like you're going to bring the hands apart. Now round your spine up and exhale, contracting your abs and letting the head come between your arms. Tuck your pelvis and do that again. Lowering down, look forward. Exhale, press into your hands. And do it again. Look forward. One more time, round up. And the neutral spine. Sway your body over to the left, so stretching the side, and then sway your body over to the right. Do that again. Let's do that 4 more times. 3, 2, 1. Tuck your toes and walk your hands in and lift up onto your shins. Good. So now let's step your right foot forward. If you need to put something under your knee for padding, go ahead and do that, but bring your right foot forward and shift your hips forward, stretching into your hip flexors, the front of your left hip, make sure your knee is over your ankle. You can use a block right here if you have blocks available, or set your fingers or hand on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, and as you exhale, walk your hands back towards your knee and flex your foot in the front, hamstring stretch. And then you want to square your hips to the front of the mat. So pull back that right hip, put your foot flat, and shift your hips forward. So we'll move through this again, or move again through this stretch. So flexors and then hamstrings, both having specific or can cause specific tightness or problems with the lower back. So concentrating on those stretches right now. Look forward. Exhale, shift your hips back and flex your foot. Do it again. Let's do it 2 more times. Look forward and then bring it back. Forward. Place the hands on the floor. Lift your left knee and extend the right leg back straight. So inhale. Exhale, lower down to the mat, coming into Sphinx pose. Put the top of your feet on the floor, forearms on the mat. Press into your forearms and your fingers and draw the elbows down or back. Abs contracted, so strengthening the lower back. Extensor muscles, your posture muscles, by just lightly pressing and pulling your elbows back, creating a contraction in those spinal muscles. Take a deep breath in. Exhale that out. Now press into the forearms, tuck your toes, lift up to your knees, and walk your hands back into child's pose. Separate your knees. Your body comes between the thighs, reaching your arms. Keep your forearms off of the mat. And just keep pressing into the palms. Fill the surface of the mat, the sticky mat. And then underneath your hips, your feet. Feel the top of your feet pressing into the mat. And now slide your hands in. We're going to go to the other side, low lunge. Bring your hands off the mat. So standing on your shins or on your knees, step your left foot forward. Shift your hips forward. Good. Bring your hands down to the mat. Your back foot, that foot is pressing into the floor, the top of the foot, this knee over your ankle. So shift your hips forward for a hip flexor stretch. Take a deep breath in, and with our breath, exhale and shift your hips back and flex your foot in the front. Hamstring. Hello, hamstring. Put your foot flat, look forward. Inhale. Flexors on that right side over there, and then shift back. Flex your foot, hamstring. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, put your foot flat, look forward. And bring it back again. Walk your hands back. Flex your foot, press your heel into the floor. Bring it forward, shift your hips forward, look forward. And then exhale back again. Let's do that 2 more times. So movement, stretching the hamstrings and the flexors dynamically. And put your foot flat. Good. Hands on the mat. Press into the floor. Tuck your right toes so you can lift your right knee up. Press. Come into high plank. Set your knees down if you need to. So your shoulders are right over your wrists. Lower down to the mat so your chest comes down first, not your belly. And then splat on the mat. Not really, but come down to the mat all the way. Then place your forearms again on the mat in Sphinx pose. So your forearms are there pressing into the mat, and your hands and fingers look forward. Inhale. 3 breaths right here. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale that out. Now push into the mat. And you're going to draw your knees up underneath your torso as if you were coming up onto a knee board. So pressing into the floor. Lift up and bring those legs underneath you. Reach your arms forward. And then turn your head right and left. And then your head up and down. Coming into pigeon pose. So hands on the mat, lift your knees. Downward facing dog first. Lift up your right leg, stretch it out away from you. And then bend your knee and place the knee behind your right wrist. So, and then you're turning your knee out towards the direction of the long edge of the mat. Press your toes into the floor. And the back foot, press that foot into the floor also. Walk your hands in. Hip flexor stretch. Just a little variation of that. So think right here, hip flexor stretching. And then on this other side, your hip and the lower back. So really working into those areas Breathe in, and then exhale and walk down to your forearms. And everybody just stay here for a moment. Take a deep breath in, then exhale. Let's add a twist. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Place your right hand over on the right side and look over your right shoulder. So staying up high, or higher than when we reach our arms forward. So this twist, adding a little more of a stretch to the hip flexors on the left side if you feel that, and then also your back and your hip on the right side, the lower back specifically. Good. All right, so now place your hands in front of your shin, tuck your toes, lift your left knee up, shift back, downward facing dog, and let's do the other side. Lift up your left leg. Bring the knee in and place the knee behind your left wrist. Point your knee towards the outside edge of the mat. And in fact, if you look down the side towards the left, the knee is outside of the hip. So don't align the knee with the hip. It's important. And then your other leg, make sure it's straight, not out to the side or moving in. Come down to your forearms first. Take a breath in. Exhale that out. Place your left hand on the outside of your knee, right hand to your knee, and you kind of use that as leverage to turn and look over your shoulder. Excellent. You're pressing, meanwhile, into the toes that are on the mat. Don't forget about that. Engaging the muscles. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Now look forward, bring your hands to the mat, lift up your chest, tuck your toes. We're going to come back to downward facing dog. So lift up, downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the middle of the mat. Bring your feet wide, turn your heels in and your toes out. Lower down your hips, your glutes towards your heels in Malasana. So lift up your chest. Looking forward, elbows on the inside of your knees. Take a breath in. And everybody, just move around. You can actually bring your hands to the floor and move your hips from side to side. Now bring your feet closer together and lift your heels up. So you're kind of sitting on your heels, hands in front of your feet. Now we're going to press into your hands and start to tip the head over and lift the hips up, forward fold. Bring your hands closer to your feet, relax your arms, take a deep breath in and contract just below the navel. You'll get a deeper fold right there. Try to straighten your legs as much as you can, stretching out your hamstrings in this fold position. And bring your right hand to your right hip, press into that hip crease, left hand to left hip, press into the hip crease. Now lengthen your head forward with a flat back. Lift all the way up. So draw from the abs, lifting up, standing tall. And let's reach the arms up. Bring the hands together and then bring your hands to your heart. Roll your shoulders up and back, standing in the center of the mat. Tree pose. Lift up your right foot off the floor. Bring it up. Flex your foot and rotate your foot around a couple of times just to do it. And then the other direction. Direct the knee to the right or bring the leg out to the right. Grab the ankle and place your foot on the inner thigh. Tree pose. Just notice the lower back on the right side with the knee out to the side. And just have that knee to the side comfortably. No forcing being straight out to the side. Bring your hands to your heart. If you fall out, just come back in. Practicing your balancing. Inhale and reach your arms. And sweep around to the sides. Now bring your knee up forward. Leg, we're going to bring it back behind. So reach for the top of your foot. Heel comes behind. Quad stretch. If you need to hold something for balance, do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So draw your shoulder back, abs in contracted, knee pointing down. And then start to tip the chest forward and reach your arm, the left arm, Lord of the Dance pose. Point your knee towards the rear. Feel that flexor stretch and the thigh stretch. So hip flexors in the right, but then pull your abs in to protect the lower back. Pull the foot back gently. Press your hand, press the foot into the hand gently, but then soften. Bring it in, and then bring the knee forward first, and set your foot down. Let's do the other side. Okay, so standing, roll your shoulders back, bring your left knee up, flex your foot, and then rotate a couple of times just to do it. Then the other way. And then reach for the top of your foot, pull the heel around to the back, flexor stretch right here. Breathe. Point your elbow to the rear, opening up your chest, stretching through the pectoral muscle. Inhale and reach your right arm up. And then bring your arm to your side. Let's not forget tree pose. Bring your left knee up to your side, up in front of you, and then bring the leg to the side. Grab your ankle, place your foot on the inner thigh, looking forward. Bring your hands to your heart, getting your balance. Reach up all the way, and then bring it around to your sides. Excellent. Now bring the knee up, forward. Reach around and grab the top of your foot. Shoulder back, chest up tall, abs in. Reach the right arm up, inhaling. And then tip your chest forward, looking forward. Concentrate on one particular place to look at. Pull the foot away from your glute, pressing that foot into your hand. Abs in contracted. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Then inhale and start to tip the knees side by side or lift the chest. Knee forward and set your foot down. Excellent. Standing on your mat, inhale and reach. Press into your feet. Feel the foundation of your feet. Then exhale, bring your hands to your hips and forward fold. So use your hips or use your hands to tip the pelvis over or feel the pelvis tilting over, and then let the head drop all the way. Crown of the head facing the floor. Hands to the mat, lengthen the head forward. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. We're going to come into crescent pose or high lunge. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Bring your right foot forward. Step your right foot between your hands. And keep the heel up in the back. Inhale, reach your arms up. High lunge or crescent lunge. Bring the hands to your heart. Roll your shoulders back. So very, very mindful. Shift your chest forward with a flat back. And then you're just going to turn, rotate your shoulders so that you can put your elbow on the outside of your knee for a crescent twist. Working into de-stressing and working out any stiffness in the lower back with a twist, a gentle twist. And then look forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Coming back to downward facing dog, and we'll do the other side, crescent lunge. Press into the floor, lift up your foot, downward facing dog. Set up first. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. So very, very lightly stepping that foot forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. All the way from the back, bring them up to the sky. You can look up at your hands, practice your balancing, or your balancing maybe a little more difficult looking up or changing where your focal point is. Bring your hands to your heart, shoulders rolled back, hinge forward, shifting your chest forward, and then rotate your shoulders. Place your elbow on the outside of your knee. Look at your knee underneath. So the knee is over your ankle. Look side, so turning where your gaze is, and then maybe look up. Good. Now look down. Inhale, untwist and reach your arms up. Bring your hands to the mat. Press into the floor, downward facing dog. Now step to the middle of your mat. Bring your feet wide and sink your glutes down, the buttocks down behind your heels. You can bring your hands back and sit behind your heels gently. Extend your legs out straight. So just taking in the difference between our seated forward fold and our standing forward fold. The difference in how the muscles feel stretching. So press your calves into the floor. You want to flex your feet. Inhale, and then walk your hands beside your leg, tipping your chest forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And then lift up. Bring your feet together. Let your knees come out to the side. Point your elbows towards the inside of the knees and bring your chest towards your feet. You can use your feet to pull in a little bit further towards the floor, and a couple of breaths right here. Inhaling, exhaling. Breathe in and breathe out. One more breath. Inhale and lift up. Good. Now bring your hands to the outside of your legs. Bring them in towards each other. And sit up tall. Right foot to the inner thigh of the left leg. And reach up. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left leg, left hand back. So your body's coming over the forward leg. Inhale, and then exhale. Feel that left or the right hip, QL muscle specifically, stretch. Inhale and reach up, and let's change sides. So right leg out, left foot in to the inner thigh, sit up tall. Bring your right hand back and your left arm up and over. Place it on the floor, and then draw the right shoulder down, the left shoulder down. Good. Now lift up, slide your hand in, and cross your legs comfortably, looking forward. Bring your hands to your heart, and reach the hands to between the brow, the mind's eye. And thanks and in gratitude for our practice and for movement this morning, and to tune in virtually. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you. Sorry for the last minute time change. I realized yesterday that I meant to put out the message and I didn't. And so this class will from now on be at 7:30 live, and then the recording will be available right after. And the 60-minute yoga class will start at 8:30 and go until 9:30. All right? So please leave your messages or comment or say hi. I appreciate it whenever you guys open up some conversation. I'll see you again at 8:30 potentially, and if not, then another time during the week. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.